Today I want to continue on our look at how we legitimate the authority of civil government, the authority of particular offices, and those office holders. And while I said in the last episode I would want us to take a look at Jesus Christ and what that has to do with it specifically, I want to follow back up on this idea that we think that we found governments and we organize them and we use God as a gloss or veneer to give a legitimacy to our own thinking. To that end, I want to share with you some excerpts from this little booklet monograph called The Law by Frederick Bastiat. I was given this by a conservative economic professor that I knew who held a chair of free enterprise. And wow, he gave it to me, and when I read it, it just resonated with me. And I just went, wow, that's so right. And I was deceived. Let me explain what happens. The book begins, or the monograph begins, with life is a gift from God. We hold from God the gift which includes all others. This gift is life, physical, intellectual, and moral. But life cannot maintain itself alone. The Creator of life has entrusted us with the responsibility of preserving, developing, and perfecting it. Okay. In order that we may accomplish this, He's provided us with a collection of marvelous faculties, and He's put us in the midst of a variety of natural resources. By the application of our faculties to these natural resources, we convert them into products and use them. This process is necessary in order that life may run its appointed course. Well, see, that immediately grabs your attention as a Christian. But then look how he describes law. What is law, then? It is the collective organization of the individual right to lawful defense. Each of us has a natural right from God to defend his person, his liberty, and his property. But he never explains where this right comes from and why we would not lay down our lives if our model is going to be Jesus. But you see, he didn't begin with Jesus. He began with God as a creator. And we didn't need the niceties of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which is why I keep putting the emphasis on the importance of understanding what we say we acknowledge, the mystery of God, of the Father, and of Christ. But simply a God would do, you see. Then he goes on. If every person has a right to defend, even by force, his person, his liberty, and his property, then it follows that a group of men have the right to organize and support a common force to protect these rights constantly. Thus, the principle of collective right, its reason for existing, its lawfulness. Here's his basis for legitimating government, is based on individual right. Wow. He goes on and says, if a nation were founded on this basis, as if we, independent of God, found nations upon bases that we choose and not that are gifts or grants by God and His providence, it seems to me that order would prevail among the people in thought as well as in deed. So you see what's happening here? We're throwing out God as a postulate. And then we come up with the idea that we create governments, we organize them, and it's all based on individuality and a right that we don't explain where it comes from. And from this individual right derives a collective right. There is no real humanity. Humanity is just an aggregation of individuals. There's no organism. It's a collective agreement to use force. And when that's the foundation of your government, that collective can use its force against you. And by retreating from an understanding, a proclamation, and an application of the mystery of God, of the Father, and of Christ, we have acquiesced to this principle that's found in this book, and we have become conservatives, not Christian. I hope you join me for the next episode.